Hey, hello again. Yes, I am back. This seems to be a nightly event for me. I come back, I come home, I do my chores, and then all of a sudden, the whole day goes by from morning to afternoon. People are asking me questions, trying to figure out what my opinion might be, And now I go on social media a lot of times, and the majority of the folks that I talk to have no, especially in this last few weeks that we find ourselves in, a lot of these guys, a lot of these individuals, a lot of my friends are either not in the military, uh, as knowledgeable as I am when it comes to geopolitics because I read a lot, especially our current events and in history. I'm an immigrant from the Far East, and the majority of the time that I was growing up, I've been studying about what has affected my country of birth, and so on and so forth. And now, being in America, it has allowed me to use the same knowledge to use what I know, and find out the relationship of other countries with America. In other words, geopolitics. And what has been happening right now for the past few weeks has been focused on Iran. People have asked me, so the question is this: what is my perception of how this war is going to go through now, or how is it going to end? How is it going to start? Well, we already started. Uh, that is a pretty broad question to ask, if you don't mind me interjecting that. But for me to answer that question, let's understand who we are dealing with on the opposite side of the spectrum: Iran. Now, I am just getting sick of the majority of folks in America that are all of a sudden find themselves in some patriotic tune of like, let's go to war, we can do it, we can beat them up, we just blow them up. It sounds like somebody we know that goes on social media every day and just thumps his chest and likes to order people around without knowing the repercussions, without having a. Yes, I don't like the guy. Now, does that mean I'm always right and he's always wrong? No. There are some policies that I do like about what he's doing. I think he's addressing the Iran issue in a different way, although the outcome is still the same thing as what we want to end up being. But there's a lot of things we don't understand. First of all, the history itself. The whole, I think we are creating an enemy out of, more of an enemy, because these people from Iran, gosh, it's just so vast to start. I actually have something in mind to talk about. Let's put it this way, right? This war did not start in 1979, 47 years ago, as what most of you are thinking. Their animosity towards America, the West, especially Great Britain. Yes, I said Great Britain. Now you could Google this up. I may get the dates wrong, the events wrong, the names wrong. But you'll understand at the end of this video why I'm getting the whole spectrum of this right. Let's start with the Iranian people. If I tell you now that 5 generations of Iranians are probably pissed off at the West, you're probably going to tell me, man, you're full of shit, man. What are you talking about? They started this mess in 1979 and nope. We started this mess after World War One. Now, that's as far as I know. Now, we can go back to Alexander the Great and you can tell me that, oh, they've only been invaded once and we're going to bomb the shit out of them right now. We're going to win. We're going to open up the Strait of Hormuz, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's not even go there, right? I'm just here to explain why they just don't like us. Why is there a reason why for them to disdain us, right? After World War I, 1921, 1923, I do believe the grandfather of the last Shah of Iran. A Shah is like an Iran, is it a Middle Eastern term now, I guess, for a dictatorship of a dynasty, okay? Because that dynasty, like the Chinese, in this case the Iranian dynasty, are held by dictators. And the last family that that had a dictatorship in Iran was the Pahlavi, Reza Pahlavis. I think his grandfather's name is Reza Pahlavi, and then after World War II, okay, let's go back 1921, 1923 when he took over, and then when World War II broke. I understand Iran was a neutral country at that time, unlike Iraq. Iraq was actually a part, if I'm not mistaken, was it a colony of Great Britain? They started the oil business there, brought in all the private firms, started drilling for oil, pumped out oil, and started sending it to its master colony, Great Britain, right? Iran was neutral at that time. But what Iran was doing was it was exporting technology, predominantly from Germany. Okay, there were no Germans that they could prove of. The Great Britain say that they had hundreds of spies because they use the human manpower exportation of German technology as an excuse. So in 1941, after Operation Barbarossa, after it failed, and then Russia started, clawing back its land, Great Britain and Russia invaded Iran because they were fearful that all these oil, all these wells, all these drillings, which was led by Anglo-Iran Company, right? I think I'm getting all my names right here. Now, none of these is scripted. What I'm talking to you right now is from here. So you can correct me later if some of this data is wrong, right? I'm just trying to rant off answers and concerns to questions that I've been bombarded with, okay? So Great Britain was fearful that Germany was sending spies to take over the country. And if you understand World War II, if Germany has control of the Caucasus, you head down south to Iran, they control the oil. Now Germany gets the oil that Great Britain couldn't get because they used to have the oil that's coming from Iran, right? So now look at the map, Egypt being a colony of Great Britain, rubble was coming in from the west at that time, right? So if they find another way from the east to Iran, guess what? The colony of Great Britain, which was Egypt and Palestine, goes away. Germans were coming in from the Balkans and from Greece, right? So look at it that way. Now let's go back to Iran. So now, Great Britain started to invade Iran with the help from Russia. Go read, okay? I'm not making this shit up. Iranian military just got demolished. That's what President Trump said. Demolished. We're going to break them down, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyway. Okay. So this was like a 4-week war, a 7-day war. This was quick, all right? So after that, World War II became a war in the North Africa campaign, Italian campaign, and eventually Operation Overlord, invasion of France. Then Germany got defeated. Russia actually did a 180 degrees from Operation Barbarossa, went through Eastern Europe, and ultimately defeated the Germans in Berlin. What happened to Iran? Okay, after World War II, because that became a sideshow now, right? Iran still was a country, but it was a country in turmoil because the left, the right, centrist, Islam, everybody else was trying to, get in power. But the head man was the father of the late Shah of Iran, which is Mohammed. No. The late Shah is Mohammed Pahlavi, Reza Pahlavi, His father's name is Reza the Shah. I think they got that right. So he was placed in power by Great Britain with assistance by the United States in 1953, I do believe. They had a coup to put him in power. So now, understand, Iranian people are pissed off at the British because their oil company was making all the revenue, making all the profit from all the oil. The old dictator, their old grandfather, was just taking land from the sheep herders. I don't know what you call them, but that's what I call them, right? From the local populace. While one side was making money, was becoming a dictator, already is a dictator, and still making money out of the Iranians' land. They were just grabbing all their land. Okay? So that's two generations, from 1921 to 1950s. And then 1953 coup d'etat came into play. Guess what? Martial law, dictatorship 201. Because this is another individual that took over his father's reign, right? Moved from 1950s to the 1970s. His son now became the last Shah of Iran. And nothing changed. Government, dictator, Shah was still raking in money, okay? Subsidized now by an oil company that was now turned against Great Britain. The old Anglo-Iranian company now was nationalized in the 50s. And guess who's raking in all the profit? Shah of Iran. Guess what? The United States has decided, since he is keeping the tone down of the left, the communists, the socialists, and the highly militant Islamists, let's just support him. That's what the United States did. So now you got 4 generations of Iranians pissed off, from the middle income brackets down all the way down to the impoverished poor, right? And that's when the students, college and university students in 1979 took over. Guess what? The U.S. Embassy, the late Shah of Iran's residence, because he was actually at that time in America for having his heart. He's got a lot of medical issues at that time, and that's why he never got to come back. He never got to come back. And what we remember are the U.S. American hostages taken by those students, which were turned over to the Islamist extremists. U.S. Iranian hostages from the U.S. Embassy. That was the byproduct of that. So it is a mistake to say, I'm going to say this again, this war was started by Iran in 1979. This war was started by Iran, was started even before World War II started. This started in the 1920s. Now, if you're talking about character traits, this started in the Crusades, when the Christians and the Islams were fighting each other in the Middle East. Yeah, you understand the ambivalence, of what the Iranian people are actually angry about? That wasn't about 1979. It was before that. So now we pick a fight with an Iranian country whose people, whose minority, is actually trying to basically run another dictatorship. It's a complicated mess, all right? Look, I get it. There is no other individual like us that are veterans that has been through the Gulf so many times, escorting tankers. I was there, late 80s, all the way to pre-Desert Shield, Desert Storm. I was there during the Iran-Iraq War, escorting tankers and the latter parts of it. We understand how that is, but we didn't conclude that this started in 1979. No, the Iran relationship with the West has been uneasy since the late 1920s. The late 1920s, we can go back to before that. Hundreds of years in the 1400s in the Crusades. Okay? So for us to say that, look, I'm not contesting the fact that, okay, they're trying to build nuclear weapons, but they don't have nuclear weapons yet. Oh, they have all these ballistic missiles, which they don't have, that they could reach the United States. The furthest ballistic missile they could reach is the edge of Western Europe. All right? Oh, they got these centrifuges. Well, guess what? Didn't we just blow them up like in June? Or sometime around that time frame? That's what your president keeps saying. Yeah, your president, you dummy. That's why the guy, we made a deal now to open it up. Well, it was open before we went to war. Okay, enough of the rant. Okay? Bottom line is, it is a mistake. All I'm trying to say, this war was not started because Iran took hostages in 1979. Look, I came from a country that is predominantly Catholic, and the main culprit of all these terroristic events that are happening in the biggest island down south is because of far-right militant extremists of the Islam religion. I should be angry, right? And I still am. But this is not proper to say that they started a war with us in 1979. Do your history work. Read the fucking book. I'm pissed off. I'm not trying to protect them. As a matter of fact, I'm just trying to be fair with what everybody's saying. Now everybody's like, yeah, let's go to war. Dude, go to war first. I've done my part. Okay? Not my kids. Now, if we go into conscription, where everybody goes, well, let's go. Everybody goes. But a draft, no. Because somebody's just going to figure out a way to get out of it. Let's go into conscription. And then we'll figure it out later. Anyway, I'm just trying to say again, before I close this video up. Because again, this is unedited. This is from what I know. You guys asked my opinion, and I'm providing you my opinion. If I am wrong, please tell me. Internet's right there. Get into it. Okay? Just don't read no meme or a post on Facebook and believe it. Oh, that's my conclusion. No. That's why God gave you eyes and a fucking brain. Go read and analyze it. If I am wrong, if any of these are wrong, you tell me, especially the events and the dates. I probably don't have the dates right. If it's 1921, it's probably 1923, right? I don't, this is what I learned from all these years. And sometimes I'll go check on it just to check my generalization, but this is what I know. To our men and women out there that are deployed or about to deploy, especially our United States Navy sailors, you guys take care of yourself. I appreciate the fact that I am now in this position. I am retired. And the reason why I am thankful is that I get to do now what I want to do. Because you guys still are doing what you're supposed to be doing right now. Active duty and still deploying, performing your jobs. You guys take care. It has been a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor to have served. You guys enjoy the evening. Post.